2 a.m. Las Vegas 2014. Two men sit down at a Bellagio craps table. 5 minutes later, two more join. They look like regulars, relaxed, quiet, but this isn't luck. It's a silent, systematic bleed of casino cash that's already made them over $1 million. No chips, no evidence, no gadgets, just a Las Vegas loophole no one else has spotted. For 2 years it's worked like a dream, except without realising they've made a mistake, and the casino is fighting back. Tonight it's all or nothing, and something is about to blow. It's early in 2012, and in Las Vegas, Mark Branco is a dealer at the Bellagio. To the tourists, the Bellagio is the height of elegance and sophistication, but as a Vegas veteran, Mark has seen the dark side. It's a brutal corporate money-making machine, owned by MGM Resorts, and he's finally had enough. In a tired little pizza joint way off the Las Vegas Strip, with cheap overhead lighting and a cracked vinyl booth, he's hatched an idea. He finishes his slice, wipes his hands and leans in to share it with his friends. It's simple, effective and will beat the casino for years. Sitting with him are James Cooper Jr., a fellow Bellagio dealer, and 2 casino regulars. Jeffrey Martin, a former minor league baseball player for Kansas City Royals, Pittsburgh Pirates and Cincinnati Reds, now saddled with crippling debts, and his friend Anthony Granito. They're all broke. You spend your life giving the casinos everything, your money, your time, or both. And while they're off printing money, you end up with nothing. And to cap it all, now they're laying off people. Over 400 people at the MGM in the last 2 years alone. But it's not the suits they let go, of course. It's the table staff earning $5 to $10 an hour. And it's the old timers who've been around the block, suckers like Mark and James, who are at the very next line. In the meantime, they'll get the worst shifts, and after taxes and everything else coming out of their paychecks, they're making next to nothing. So how about they tax the casino instead, taking just a few of their $1 million a day, every day, without anyone knowing how? Because Mark has found a way, a chink in the armour. Nothing flashy, nothing reckless, just a quiet, ongoing siphon of cash, and the casino will have no idea what's hit them. In August of 2012, the 4 friends try Mark's secret strategy for the very first time. Like most large casinos, different parts of the floor at the Bellagio are broken down into different pits, each with its own cluster of games, overseen by its own pit boss. The busiest at the Bellagio are known by staff as the Augustus and the Mirage, so that's where Jeffrey and Anthony are sent as players, to blend in with the action. It helps that their chosen tables, the dealers are Mark and James, and that game that they're playing will be craps. Craps is one of the loudest, fastest games in gambling. Players bet on how a pair of dice will land across multiple rolls. Outside of the game, they can also place additional hot bets, instant one-roll side bets on the exact result of a single play. While normal pass line bets only pay out at evens, hot bets offer bigger odds, 15 to 1 for an easy hot bet featuring 2 different numbers, like a 2 and a 1, and 30 to 1 for a hard hot bet featuring a double. The casinos love them meanwhile because they're packing a huge hidden margin, with the real odds of winning a hard hot bet being 35 to 1. It's also a hard game for a staff member to cheat in because, as well as a box man sitting in the middle watching the chips and a stick man calling the dice, there are 2 base dealers handling all the bets, winnings and chips. To cheat, they'd have to work together, but that's what's happening here. It's a busy game with a lot going on, and there is a window. The game begins, dice tumble, the players shout last second wagers, and the friends start making money, more than they should. The plan works. If you know what to look for, the signs are there. A quick glance between player and dealer, some mumbled words as the dice roll, a small nod almost invisible. But no one is looking. They've made sure of that, so their tax keeps trickling in, and every quiet win feels like proof. The house can be beaten if you're smart enough, if you've worked out a tiny glitch that nobody's exploited yet. By early 2013, the friends are feeling good. They know that any attention that they might get would first be on the players, Jeffrey and Anthony. They score some Vegas comps with their regular wins, free drinks, tickets to shows, special treatment, but they're not really going crazy. Behind the scenes, it's Mark who's pulling the strings. Each time when the dealer's shift falls in their favour, the ritual repeats. In the middle of the night, the table gets busy. It's chaotic, just as intended, so their pattern goes unseen. The glance, the mumble, the nod, and they keep on earning, taxing the casino so they too can make a living. With just 2 trusted employees at the table, Bellagio veterans, no one's paying attention. But nothing stays hidden forever. A pit boss passing by on a slow night frowns at a payout. A fellow dealer stacking chips nearby spots a strange rhythm. There's nothing solid, nothing worth reporting, but different people are starting to notice different things. Unseen, the Bellagio's fraud control group flags some sessions for closer analysis. It's not unusual, it happens all the time, but it isn't good news. In their minds, the friends feel invisible, but they're not. They're making mistakes, and if discovered, their luck may come to an end. At the start of 2014, their simple, silent scheme remains hidden in plain sight. It works like this. The opportunity they're exploiting comes from the way the Bellagio handles hot bets. Now remember, a hot bet calls for a specific number on each die to show up on the next roll. For example, you want to bet that the next roll will be a 2 on one die and a 5 on the other. At most American casinos, to hot bet, you must place your chips on a designated part of the table. But at the Bellagio, you only need to place your bets verbally. You just call them out. And to keep the game flowing, the dealer is trusted to remember them and pay out when needed, except Anthony and Jeffrey are mumbling, speaking so quietly that no one can really hear them. If the dice land the way they predicted, the dealer pays out. But if the dice don't cooperate, then those phantom bets just never happened. No chips down, no records at all, so they only ever win from their hot bets. Exploiting the casino's greed is a crucial part of the plan. Mark and James are working graveyard shifts in Las Vegas, meaning less surveillance and fewer staff. Sometimes there isn't even a boxman between them, and when there is, as trusted old-timers, they still don't pay them much attention. The casino now relies on its famous eye in the sky, its overhead surveillance system, but that doesn't record any audio. And in Nevada, no audio means no proof, just pictures. For the 2 years, the scheme goes smoothly until a single decision, made for the right reasons, finally tips the scales. They think it's just another busy Vegas night, but this roll is about to be their last. It's July 2004-2014, and the Strip is even crazier than usual. The city is full of partying patriots, and that's good news for friends. At first, Anthony and Jeffrey decide to push the envelope and go for their biggest night so far. Anthony wins $13,200 on the first roll of the dice and stays for 229 more rolls. This allows him to net more than $85,000. Jeffrey wins big too, so the Bellagio security team take another look at both of them. It's standard procedure. And they see they've done well, consistently, but not ridiculously, for a couple of years. They've hidden their phantom hot bets wins with plenty of normal bets, losing bets, but still made a tidy profit, which means lots and lots of comps. But here's the thing, while Anthony has racked up more than $33,000 in comps, and Jeffrey more than $12,000, which could have been used on shows, steak dinners, free rooms, a day at the spa, they cashed in very little. They're not using them, and it seems weird. A minor red flag. But on hearing it, people start sharing stories. Supervisors mention weird payouts. Dealers on nearby tables start exchanging glances. Even some players seem unhappy. And the case goes up the line to the Bellagio's fraud supervisor, Shannon Tibbetts. No one can quite put their finger on it, but someone must be cheating, and she's determined to find out how. By late summer of 2014, the four friends believe they've beaten the system, and they have played it smart, not too loud, not too greedy. They might have taken $1,086,400 through fake wins, but along the way, they've lost thousands of dollars on fair wagers they placed to distract attention. $712,029 in fact, leaving a modest real profit of $374,400. Behind the scenes though, the fraud team has given this case a code name. It will never see the light of day, for internal use only, but it means Shannon Tibbetts is getting serious. Very serious. Surveillance tapes are being dissected, frame by frame. Those player comp records are being poured over once again. And then, when the casino's math geek gets involved, it's only a matter of time. The friends have been careful. There's no smoking gun. Just a drip, drip, drip of consistent wins and a small mistake. But in the end, it all adds up, and someone always pays the price. The big win, the comps anomaly, is the kickoff. After that, Tibbetts goes into overdrive. She digs up all the betting records. Then it's over to the stats guys with a bigger question. What does this all mean? They start with the basics. Lucky streaks are part of the business. In fact, they're good for business. They keep punters coming back. But hot bets in general? They're sucker wagers, long shot propositions barely worth the effort. 17 to 1, 35 to 1, they nearly always lose. But here, the same players are winning hot bets every time, night after night. Sometimes both players win on the same roll, sometimes they win on the next roll too. It's not normal, so they model it out. What are the odds of this happening? The results are brutal. The probability isn't just small, it's invisible under a microscope. MGN statistician Zachary Levine says 452 billion to 1. It's like watching a roulette ball landing on red 100 times in a row. It just doesn't happen, not without help. But the math alone isn't enough. The casino also needs a witness, so they start applying pressure. Closed door meetings, stone-faced supervisions, tight smiles that don't reach the eyes. Anything to report? They ask again, and again, and again, and again. And for a time, there's silence, until one dealer, name redacted in every report, quietly steps forward, because he's seen it. The glance, the mumble, the nod. It's all the convincing they needed. They call him a whistleblower and the trap snaps shut. On a hot Vegas night, Jeffrey and Anthony take their place at the craps table for the very last time. The dice bounce across the felt, and then hands clamp onto shoulders. Agents step in. It's the Nevada Gaming Control Board. The four friends are frozen in place under the bright lights of the Bellagio. It's a classic Vegas humiliation, and the $1 billion house finally strikes back. Across 2 years, the four friends gathered at the craps table 76 times. Now it's game over. Thanks to those 452 billion to 1 odds, the surveillance footage and the testimony of another dealer, the fallout is hard and fast. Mark breaks down in court. There are tears. The four plead guilty to a felony, theft and cheating at gambling and want to put things right, but the casino says it was not needed. It was greed. Shannon Tibbetts urges Judge Valerie Adair to impose stiff sentences, and at a Clark County District Court between April and November of 2016, she does. 2 to 5 years for James Cooper Jr., who cooperates early. 3 to 8.5 years for Jeffrey Martin and Anthony Granito, who has a heart attack when he gets the news. And 4 to 10 years for Mark Branco as the scheme's mastermind. They must also pay back in full the $1,086,400 despite their losses. But it's all gone, blown on the costs of living in Vegas. The Vegas casinos get their revenge in a different way when the four are released from jail. Their names are written into the infamous Black Book as the 33rd, 34th, 35th and 36th people to be permanently barred from every casino in the state. Together, they make up 11.1% of the entire Nevada list of excluded persons. Blacklisted alongside mobsters, violent criminals and repeat professional cheats just like this Vegas legend in the next video. Check it out.